If you have IBS, Crohn's, autoimmune, or anxiety that just won't go away, your doctor just might be missing something. It's possible that your physical illness is not just physical, and it's actually your body screaming what your mouth won't say, which is no. It took me having COVID 5 times and several major flare-ups of my autoimmune disease before I was able to realize that my people-pleasing tendencies were at play and they were literally making me sick. I'm Kim Gross, and I help people to understand the hidden connection between physical symptoms, chronic illness, and emotional patterns. For years, doctors couldn't figure out what was making me sick until I finally realized myself that it was decades of people pleasing that was literally causing me to be sick. If you are a people pleaser or a perfectionist or both, I'm going to show you how those patterns and those tendencies are contributing to or can be contributing to you having chronic illness, chronic pain that just won't go away. And I'm going to show you how I use my 5-step power pathway to help go from illness to wellness. So the first thing that we need to understand is that the body keeps the score. I say this over and over again because it's so important to understand that every single time that you abandon yourself to please another person, to take care of another person, to say yes when you really want to say no, to do things for other people while you're resenting it. Every single time you do that and you abandon what you truly want, what you truly feel, what your true self is telling you to do, you are making yourself sick because you're betraying yourself. You're turning on yourself. And what is the definition or the meaning of autoimmune disease? It's turning on oneself. So it's attacking your own body. When you have an autoimmune disease, the disease is attacking your own healthy cells. So it's this metaphor for it's attacking you and turning on you, and that's what you're doing to yourself each and every time you abandon yourself, every time you say yes when you really want to say no. So for example, there's many times in the past when my husband would say, hey, do you want to go play tennis? And a lot of times he just really wanted to go play because I think that he was kind of bored. And I might have been tired, I might not have felt well, and I would say yes when I really didn't want to. That's an example of me abandoning myself. And then going and playing tennis is creating the chance, and it did, where I had more pain than I did even beforehand. So what we have to understand is the connection between saying yes to others when we really want to say no. And it's so hard because we feel or believe as a people pleaser that if we say no to other people and if we put ourselves first, that we are being selfish. That's what we believe. We are being selfish. At the end of the day, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's imperative to fill your cup and to take care of yourself first so that you are able to take better care of other people, because then it comes from an overflow of your cup. You're not coming from an empty cup, which is what I did for so many years. I was running on fumes, but I continued to put the needs, the wants and desires of other people ahead of myself because I felt guilty or selfish for putting myself first. But there's a reason why on an airplane they will say to you, please put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. Because if you run out of oxygen and you die, you can't help the people around you, especially if you have like young children with you. So it's important that you put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. So there's other ways that our bodies can give us messages that we are not taking care of ourselves. So for example, if you carry a lot of back pain, lower back pain, that's often a sign that you don't ask for help, that you are doing everything for everyone around you. And you may just be carrying this constant lower back pain. If you're feeling exhausted all the time, it's because you're depleting your own energy. You're giving it out to everyone. And maybe you've been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. You're constantly fatigued because you can't take care of everything. You can't manage everyone else's needs and desires and everyone else's responsibilities along with your own. You're not taking care of yourself first and foremost. And maybe if you're having migraines, it's maybe often a sign that you struggle or have an inability to speak up for yourself. So that is another way in which, these are ways in which the body is giving you signals. It's telling you, please listen, listen. And for me, when I was diagnosed 20 years ago, it was my wake-up call. It was my opportunity to start creating a self-care plan. And trust me when I tell you that I couldn't do it overnight, because the patterns that I had for people-pleasing were deeply, deeply ingrained in my subconscious mind. And it was way too scary to take off that mask and to start unhooking from the pattern all at once. No way was it like flip a light switch and all of a sudden I'm done people pleasing. I had to do it incrementally and in steps. So my kids were really young. They were 5 and 2 at the time that I was diagnosed with the autoimmune disease. By the way, it's called Sjogren's, Sjogren's. And I started out by just going to the gym a few times a week and putting them in the playroom while I went to the gym. And let me tell you that even doing that was extremely difficult, because I felt so guilty putting them in the playroom. Meanwhile, they're having the best time of their lives, but I felt guilty putting myself first and making them go play there. So I started with that, and then year after year, I continued to build upon ways in which I could take better care of myself and put myself first. And even today, it still can be a challenge for me. Here's what I want to say about people pleasing and perfectionistic tendencies or patterns, is that they may not go away fully. It may take many, many rounds to heal the wound that caused them in the first place. And we may have to just, as they say, that proverbial peel back the layers of the onion until we can get to the core of it and really heal it. And then it starts to lift or resolve itself. And what I can say is that even today, when I do notice that I fall back into people pleasing or perfectionism, I catch it like that, and I'm able to take my 5-step power pathway, run myself through the framework, and I can heal it within minutes. I can recognize my pattern, I can see what's happening, and I know what to do to tune into my emotional well-being and be with that part of myself and heal that and heal it. So it's then no longer struggling. I'm no longer struggling with it. So here's the thing that I will tell you, that if anyone just says to you, listen, If you want to feel better, you want to get rid of your chronic symptoms, all you got to do is just think positive, change your mindset, just be positive. Pretend it doesn't exist. That is a bunch of crap. That's not going to work. You're not going to positive weight yourself through it. I'm all for having a positive mindset, but you can't bypass what's underneath. You can't bypass the emotional mess that's underneath that has to be healed, the wound, the wounding that's causing you to people please and be a perfectionist in the first place. Like, what is the underneath of you having the fear of being rejected? What's the underneath of you having the fear of saying no or putting yourself first and taking care of yourself before taking care of other people's needs? You have to understand what that fear is, and you have to heal that, because that happened a long time ago. It's ingrained in your subconscious mind and needs to be rewired, reprogrammed, so that you can show up differently. If you're tired of being sick and tired, and this video resonates with you, and you want to go from a place of being illness to more wellness, and understand how you can heal your emotional patterns or clean up your emotional reservoir, then I invite you to grab my book, Free to Be, A Pathway to Inner Liberation. It's a beginning place for you where I outline my 5 steps, my 5-step power pathway. And it's a really great place to start, where you can understand my framework. And if you are tired of being sick and tired, I invite you to grab my book, Free to Be, A Pathway to Inner Liberation. I outline my 5-step power pathway. It is a framework that will help you to go from illness to wellness. I'll see you in the next video.